going to go against this sorry-ass Oakland Raiders. Sorry-ass Oakland Raiders. Man, Oakland Raiders. I'm tired of hearing that. This our house. That's all that need to be said. One, two, three, swag! Woo!
Hey yo, what is up everybody? It's B Militant. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here on the Redskins review, and you guys, first things first, let's go Caps. They did it. Ovechkin deserves it. The entire team deserves it. Even if you're not a Capitals fan, so many people I've seen, enjoyed this from afar, because everyone knows the Caps deserve it. Everyone knows Ovechkin deserves it, and man, does he really love the Stanley Cup and all the shenanigans he's been doing with the Stanley Cup. It's been so gratifying to see him finally get one, and he is living it to the fullest. So hopefully that brings a winning culture around this area, and it continues, and this is one of many. But let's get into my little next bit of news I want to bring up. Darius Geis is in every single headline. Anyone who's following the Redskins as a reporter or something like that, any article they put out it's like 90% Darius Geis. The rest is Alex Smith, but it's just like Darius Geis, Darius Geis, Darius Geis. And there's been a lot of stuff I've been seeing, more interviews with him talking and stuff like that. The more I see him, the more I like him too. He does have a personality, and it reminds me a little bit, just a little bit, of another guy who had a personality on this football team. But I'm not trying to go down that road yet. We haven't even seen this guy in preseason or anything, so all we can do is wait. That's why I think so many people are talking about Darius Geis, because he looks so good and he has so much potential. So we're gonna have to wait and see. It's really hard to sit here and just wait, but we gotta sit here and wait. Gotta see him on the football field, see what he does. And yeah, let's get into what we're here to talk about. Just kind of like last video, I kind of want to have a group discussion. Everyone on here, let me know what you think, just like you guys did pretty well on the last video. So today what we're going to be talking about is, which player is the Redskins going to miss the most? A player that was here last year and gone this year. What player are we going to miss the most? Now, I have a list of guys here. If I'm missing someone, shame on me. I don't know. I went through this. I made this list kind of quick. Not every single name's going to be here. Just people I think are worth bringing up. So if I missed anybody big, let me know in the comments, and we can throw that person's name in the hat too. But let me start going down the list, and I'll tell you who I think we're going to miss the most. Personally, I'll get to it in a second. But number one on the list. This isn't in any certain order. I just wrote the names down. I'll talk about every single guy individually a little bit, unless they, not much to talk about. But the first person I have on the list is Sua Cravens. Sua Cravens was traded to the Denver Broncos. This is a guy that had crazy potential. Really sucks it didn't work out. He became a fan favorite right away when we first got him. Yeah, I don't know. I met Sua Cravens at the one time where he was giving away all the jerseys or whatever. Dude's got some stuff going on upstairs. Don't know how. I don't know if he's always been that way, or like concussions got to him. I don't know. But that guy has some shit going on. So I'm not completely opposed to, getting something back for him and trading him. I think it's probably a good move, but it is gonna suck because he had a lot of athletic ability. If he turns out good on the football field, if he just shows up and he's in the right mentality, he could do some work for the Denver Broncos. So that's the first person I've written down. Now, the second person I have written down is Kirk Cousins. Now, I think you all understand that, for me personally, out of all these people, I'm going to miss Kirk Cousins the most on a personal level. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about who is the team going to miss the most? Who is going to have the biggest impact on the team being gone this year when they were here last year? So Kirk Cousins isn't going to be my pick for who we're going to miss the most because I like Alex Smith. I've always liked Alex Smith. I think he can come in and do most everything that Kirk Cousins did. There's only some downfalls to Alex Smith where Kirk Cousins has never been hurt, man. Alex Smith has had time off. He's a little bit older. We'll see what we can have to wait and see. But so this could be a lot of you guys' picks too. Kirk Cousins, he obviously is gone. He's on the Vikings now. Quarterback is a huge, that could be a huge factor on this football team. So very well we could be missing Kirk Cousins the most. We're gonna have to wait and see. But seeing that we have Alex Smith, I can't put him as who we're going to miss the most. Actually, my pick for who we are going to miss the most this year is the next person on the list, and that would be Bashaud Breeland. Now, I understand, I get it. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of fans who, for some reason, don't like Breeland that much. They always say he gets burned and things like that. But even Josh Norman looked not very good last year, right? I mean, we didn't have good defensive line play. We didn't get the quarterback. That will bust up some corners. So I'm just saying, I personally think we're gonna miss Bashaud Breeland the most this year because who are we gonna be putting out there? We're gonna be putting Quentin Dunbar. We're gonna see what Fabian Moreau can do. And I'm just saying, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be wishing we had Bashaud Breeland back this year. That's a very hard position to play. The only way that I see Quentin Dunbar or Fabian Moreau stepping up and being as good as Bashaud Breeland or better is if our defensive line has much improved, which obviously we spent a lot in the draft to get defensive linemen. So if the defensive line is much improved, maybe that'll take some pressure off of Quentin Dunbar and Fabian Moreau. We'll see. But I just think people, corner's not easy to play, man. And I think Breeland was at least average, slightly better than average. And in the NFL, that's not that bad, all right? I've seen way worse players come and play that position on this football team year in and year out. And that's why I think Bashaud Breeland is going to be the person that we miss the most. Let me know. Obviously, you guys are going to let me know who you guys think we're going to miss the most. Next on the list, I have Kendall Fuller. This is another toss-up. This is I think we are going to miss Kendall Fuller a lot, but I think it's easier to get beat up on the outside, because, man, we're having guys step in that I just think either haven't been proven, they haven't proved themselves yet. There's a lot of question marks. We just got Orlando Scandrick, who's probably going to try to fill in some of the roles that Kendall Fuller played, I think. So I'm not saying he's as good as Kendall Fuller, but he's somewhat of a veteran. I think it's going to be easier for him to step in Kendall Fuller's position rather than someone stepping in Bashaud Breeland's position. If you want Kendall Fuller, if you think Kendall Fuller is going to be the person we miss the most, let me know in the comments. We'll all talk about it. Next on the list, I have Junior Galette. Honestly, for me, I just didn't think Junior Galette was very impactful, man. I don't know. There's a lot of people who are saying maybe he would be better now that he has a training camp without going through injuries or whatever. I don't know. I just thought Junior Galette if he's not healthy, man, why did we, I don't know, whatever. Moving on from that, another really good answer. I would probably take this answer probably as my second answer to the question, who are we going to miss the most next year? And that's Ryan Grant. I think Ryan Grant went to the Colts, picked him up after the Ravens ousted our dude and said they were going to give him all this money, and then they were like, ha, we're just kidding. We're going to do you grimy. But yeah, Ryan Grant's going to be gone. We did get Trey Quinn, But man, our our receivers in general, just I don't know, man. What if Jameson Crowder takes a step back? What if there's a lot of question marks for me. I don't think Maurice Harris gets enough play time. We got some guys, but Ryan Grant was that guy that he was one of the only like two guys that Kirk Cousins trusted, and that's for a reason. He was solid, and he showed up at the end of games where we needed him to show up, and he's in the third and fourth quarter making these contested catches. He's a short guy, and he's up in the air jumping over people, making these 20-yard catches down the field to move the chains in the third and fourth quarter. Man, Ryan Grant was big for us. I think that's going to be another guy that we miss a lot. If other people do not step up, if Josh Doxson does not step up, and I know I talk negatively about Josh Doxson sometimes, and I mean, deservedly so, man. I mean, we spent a first-round pick on him. Is it our fault that he was injured and maybe we didn't know about it? I don't know, but it is our fault. If we picked a player that wasn't ready to play, how much did we know about him and this or that? It is pretty much our fault. But still, Josh Doxson has to come around, and if he doesn't this year, we've all seen he's got potential. We've seen what he can do. We've seen the athletic shit that he can do. We know he can do it, but it's not consistent. It's just not consistent. Not every single game is he showing up, and for a first-round pick, you need them to show up, man. So Ryan Grant, being a workhorse, man, he's going to be missed dearly probably. Next on the list, DeAngelo Hall. DeAngelo Hall retired. Pretty sure he retired, unless someone tried to snag him here at the end. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, he's retired. So that's another answer. Veteran leadership on this team. Maybe he could have taught guys. Maybe I don't know if he stuck around. I don't know. You guys can argue your pick for DeAngelo Hall if that's your pick. Next on the list is Terrell McClain. Meh. I don't think Terrell McClain really did that much while I was here. So it's kind of an afterthought. If you want Terrell McClain as your answer, go ahead and write it. Another one that is kind of interesting is Trent Murphy. Forget where Trent Murphy went, but someone did Buffalo pick him up? Someone snagged him. I was worried about his injury history. Was he going to have another 4-game suspension for PEDs? I liked Trent Murphy when he was here, but it was bad. But it was bad that if our best pass rusher was Trent Murphy, that was still bad. But Trent Murphy was probably the best pass rusher we've had in a while. Better, I think he did better than Preston Smith. Although there's going to be some reporters out there who are going to sit there and tell you, "Oh no, Preston Smith, he's got the most pressure on any quarterback." I don't know. There's going to be people who sit there and try to fight for Preston Smith and talk him up, but Trent Murphy got to the quarterback. All right, but he was injured and also got popped for PEDs, so he was one of our better pass rushers. We could miss him a lot too. Another one is Niles Paul. I didn't know for sure if we let Niles Paul go, but he got picked up by the Jaguars. Another veteran leadership guy. Tight end for us is, I think we have what we need as long as some of our guys stay healthy. We need a blocking tight end. Niles Paul was decent at blocking. He wasn't the best blocker, but he was a scrappy guy. But Niles Paul could be somebody's answer. Greg Toller, I don't remember him being. Was he on the team last year or the year before? He was on the. I went through someone's roster for last year, and he was on the roster maybe at some point. But Greg Toller, corner. I don't remember him being super bad while he was here, but he also wasn't super good. He was kind of just a guy that we needed to fill spots. But if that's your answer, let me know. AJ Francis is apparently gone. Let me know if you want to, pick AJ Francis. Here's a oddball, curveball for you guys. Could it be that we miss Nick Rose, the kicker that we signed, and he came in and filled in for our kicker who Dustin Hopkins is his name. Could it be that we miss Nick Rose as our kicker instead of Dustin Hopkins? If Dustin Hopkins comes out this year and does terrible, maybe it is Nick Rose. Maybe we don't have a kicker, and then Nick Rose is picked up by somebody, and we had the chance to have him. What if Nick Rose goes on to be a great kicker, and we had him on the team because Dustin Hopkins was hurt, and then this is a lot of what ifs. That's why he's not my pick. But if he's your pick, it's kind of a intriguing answer. Dustin Hopkins did get hurt, and he's solid, but he's not the best. So actually, I say for the last name on my list, remember, if there's somebody that I forgot, let me know. I want everyone else to know, because that could be your guys' answer. Hopefully there's not any obvious one that I missed, because I did this in like 2 minutes. But so the last name I saved, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of your guys' picks. A guy that we're going to really miss next year, and miss dearly, and that is Terrell Pryor. And that's just a joke. That was just a joke. I can't even say that with a straight face, but I put him at the bottom of the list. Terrell Pryor. It'd be funny if someone picked that. I forget where he went, but someone picked him up. I think the Jets. Did the Jets pick him up? Somebody picked him up. So, well, that's kind of all I got for you guys. Don't want to keep this video going for too much longer. Let me know what you guys think. What player are the Redskins going to miss the most that we had last year and we don't have this year? If I missed anybody, let me know so other people know, so they can pick them. It is the off season, so I've got to think outside the box like this. Until we see our guys in action, there's not a whole lot to talk about, unless it's something like Ari Quandro hurt himself and he's not on the team anymore. That sucks. He was a good depth guy. But beyond that, not a lot to talk about on the offseason so far, and that's also kind of a good thing. Not having a lot to talk about in the offseason is kind of a good thing. If you notice how winning organizations, they don't have a bunch of shit to talk about. There's not a bunch of controversy. Unlike, I guess the Patriots do kind of have some controversy going on, but whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. As always, hail to the Redskins. Let's go Capitals. Peace.